Hi there to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television. It's 6 p.m. in Moyuka in the southwest region of the country, and it's time for the news in the English language. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We begin right away with our major stories this evening. Cameroonians hold their breath as the kidnappers of the 5 children and many others stay in captivity as the gunmen threaten having them killed if the ransom of about 5 million francs CFA is not paid. Amidst the loud silence of the government authorities in Cameroon, social media Cameroonians have been mobilizing to get the amount needed to free the kids. We will be analyzing what some Cameroonians describe as the indifference of the state in this news edition. And also in this edition, Barrister Keremuna petitions the Constitutional Council of Cameroon against the candidacy of President Paul Biya ahead of the October 12 presidential election in Cameroon. Viewers, those are our lead stories. Details and more in just a moment. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for being with us. We just told you a while ago that Cameroonians have held their breath as the children who were kidnapped, 5 of them, are still in captivity, and the gunmen are asking for a ransom of about 5 million francs CFA this time around. Let's now have the details with Innocent Asa in the report which comes up next. We meet Innocent Asa in this report. He tells us that the nation as a whole, Cameroonians are holding their breath because the children from the same family, 5 of them, the oldest is about 16 and the youngest 11 years, they are all in captivity among several other Cameroonians who were kidnapped on board a touristic bus. They were on their way from the far north region of the country going to the south. They were kidnapped on board the bus precisely at Zigage by some gunmen. Innocent Ase comes back to that story.
Andy Florentinga is still in distress following the kidnapping of her 5 children along the Koseri Marwa Road in the far north region on August 12. The kidnappers, according to her statement on Equinoxe program, said they killed her first son and will terminate the others if she fails to pay the ransom of 5 million francs CFA, a ransom dropped from 50 million francs CFA. What shocks civil society actors is the silence of state officials more than a week now.
Personne ne comprend pourquoi nos dirigeants ne prennent pas la parole.
This attitude should be decried with the highest energy, because what happened to this woman can happen to anyone in a society with growing violence. It is sad those responsible for our security care less. Nothing can justify such a silence by government officials.
Ne devrait pas en arriver là. Il n'y a aucun argument qui justifie cet état de choses. Aucun.
Philippe Nanga is indifferent.
C'est une situation incompréhensible.
It is an incomprehensible situation. In a critical affair such, not even a statement from the President of the Republic or government officials. In other countries, quick measures would have been taken.
Ça traduit tout simplement qu'on a un gouvernement aujourd'hui qui a des soucis de coordination, dont les structures ont du mal à agir de façon efficace.
Just like other Cameroonians, they feel the woman has been abandoned to suffer alone.
Une situation comme celle-là.
Philippe Nanga says the least authorities could have done was to accord the woman a psychological follow-up and not allow her move from one direction to the other.
Son encadrement psychologique, son accompagnement pour la rassurer.
La première des choses, c'est de se dire, ok, nous sommes donc dans un état où nous sommes abandonnés à nous-mêmes. Donc il faut que quelque chose soit fait.
Touched by the woman's situation, a blogger, Zui Manto, launched a fundraising to assist the woman. Cameroonians have been contributing for this purpose. Though held, the civil society actors say
vraiment, on ne peut que encourager cela parce que c'est ensemble qu'on va pouvoir combattre puisque nous sommes abandonnés à nous-mêmes.
Non, elle peut pas être efficace.
It will not be effective without the involvement of the state with structures to free the children. What the blogger is doing might fuel kidnappings of similar nature.
C'est d'autres kidnappings qui vont s'en suivre si le gouvernement ne suit pas.
The civil society actors demanded the state to take its responsibility, use all it has to locate the kidnappers, free the children, and reunite them with their parents, particularly the traumatized mother who in tears implores government authorities to rescue her children from the hands of the kidnappers.
J'interpelle aussi les pouvoirs publics, les pouvoirs en place, à pouvoir faire leur travail, ceux qui sont chargés de l'affaire, afin que ces enfants me rejoignent.
And amidst a disturbing silence from the Cameroonian government and the government authorities to secure the safe release of the 5 children and others kidnapped in the far north region, Cameroonians have displayed a remarkable solidarity. This commendable display guided by the initiative of a social media activist, Women2, has successfully raised over 6 million francs CFA to secure the release of the 5 children kidnapped by gunmen in the region since August 13, an incident that highlights the growing insecurity in the far north region of the country, but also the efforts of the government to ensure the security of the people. For me, Armstrong Sander has the details.
Thank you indeed. You have demonstrated once again that we are stronger together. You are indeed the goat of the Cameroonian social media influencers space. You have demonstrated again that you are more useful than the CPGM government to me. These are some of the reactions from Cameroonians home and abroad in the comment section of the Facebook page of social media influencer Deplorable after he succeeded to raise the sum of over 6 million francs CFA through a solidarity fund collection from well-wishers to assist Mamanga Ani, whose children have been in captivity since August 13th, with kidnappers asking for the ransom of over 5 million francs CFA. The children, who are traveling in a bus on the National Road number 1, were abducted on August 13th, 2025, and the kidnappers initially demanding the sum of 50 million francs CFA. Despite government silence on the matter, Deplorable's fundraising efforts garnered widespread support from Cameroonians at home and abroad. Through a PayPal campaign, the social media influencer raised an equivalent of 9,180 euros, equivalent to approximately 6,248,000 francs CFA. Additionally, presidential aspirant Issa Chiroma Bakari alone contributed 500,000 francs CFA via the victim's account, bringing the total sum of money raised to over 6,748,000 francs CFA. The funds were handed over to the children's mother, Mamanga Ani, who expressed her gratitude to the generous donors. The kidnapping on its part has sparked a widespread outrage and calls for the government to take immediate actions to secure the children's release. Opposition leaders, including Cabral Libi and Professor Maurice Kamto, on their part, have condemned the government's silence and inaction, urging authorities to do more to protect citizens and prevent such incidents in the future.
Hopefully those children and all those kidnapped are released safe and sound. Now let's talk about bad roads again in Cameroon. Now we take you to the southwest region of the country, where people of Mombo, Equinoxe and other neighboring villages in that area they are decrying the deplorable state of the roads. The people, who are mostly cocoa farmers, say they can't transport their farm products to the market because of the bad state of the road, especially the road to Mombo. Our reporter Mala Glorina presents to us the deplorable state of that road.
This is the main road leading to Mombo and Equinoxe in the Coupe-Maningoba division, southwest region. The road is in a terrible shape, and navigating through presents significant challenges. And the lone bridge used by the locals is now a dead trap, making it difficult to pass through, especially with bags of cocoa beans. This is what we go through on the Mombo road. The road is really bad. Going to Equinoxe, some even have to carry their bags of cocoa on their head. Let them fix this road. We equally need a bridge. The people here are mostly cocoa farmers who produces about 200 bags each season. They say transporting the produce to the market is a daunting task. A year we can even harvest more than 2,000 bags of cocoa.
20,000.
To transport a bag like this costs 20,000 francs for about an hour journey to get to where we are going to. We really need help here. We also complained that transportation fare from Mombo to Kumba has increased from 1,000 francs to 2,500 francs during this rainy season because of the deplorable state of the Mombo road. The locals believe the rehabilitation of the road will go a long way to improve their living standards.
Now, a few weeks to back to school will take you to the northwest region of the country, precisely to Buchi, which is a small village in the Santa subdivision where the children have been waiting for years to go to school. The last time the local government school opened its doors in that area was back in 2022. Today, many are either studying far away from home or have simply dropped out from school. Nearly a decade into the Anglophone crisis, the struggle for education remains one of the conflict's deepest scars. Our reporter, Stella, takes us to that village.
Here in Buchi, this government school yard stands silent. The blackboards have not seen chalk since 2022, and the benches that once held pupils are gone. For many children here, the dream of learning has been replaced by long days at home or difficult journeys to distant towns in search of education. Nearly a decade into the Anglophone crisis, poverty has worsened.
So for the academic year, I don't know how I will start because it's still hard. I don't really know what to do. I manage my small business so.
At just few weeks to the start of the new academic year in Cameroon, parents are yet to start preparing their children for back to school.
No, I never buy nothing. I never no place I will start for buy picking their thing there.
Amid despair, the Menka Buchi Pinyin Peace and Unity Tournament has become a beacon of hope. Though one team carried the day, the real goal was bigger than football.
This tournament was initiated to mobilize and sensitize our people, to sensitize people, the entire village, the entire clan for peace and unity. All the parents should ensure that they send their children to school.
You know, we are now today happy because everything is coming to peace. With the youth life that we bring today, we see that our children to go to school to their last level to see what they can help the village, because the goal is still creating more intelligent and more civilization. So we have to be in civilization, not in the bushes.
As the new academic year approaches, Buchi clings to hope, but until classrooms reopen, the children of this village risk losing yet another year of learning, a sad reality its elites say they are working against.
And now over to one of our lead stories. We told you that presidential candidate Barrister Keremuna's petition to the Constitutional Council to declare President Paul Biya ineligible for the October 12 presidential election. The Constitutional Council is to deliberate on the issue that would be on August 22 on Friday. Babula Jonathan tells us more about the content and legal basis of the petition.
Citing Article 118 of the Electoral Code of Cameroon, presidential candidate Barrister Keremuna says Paul Biya has put himself in a position of ineligibility and thus should be disqualified. That section of the Electoral Code prohibits illegal collaboration or dependence on any foreign body or country. He says President Biya has violated the law. Article 118 sub 1 of the Electoral Law provides that all persons who by their own doing have placed themselves in a situation of dependence on or connivance with a foreign person, organization or power shall not be eligible. According to Barrister Keremuna, Biya's advanced age and health concerns render him dependent, making him unfit to govern. Paragraph 2 specifies that the ineligibility shall be determined by the Constitutional Council within 3 days of referral. The petition will be examined on August 22, 2025. According to the founder and president of the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa, Barrister Agbo Bala, the petition is not simply a legal contest over an individual's candidacy. it is a signpost of strategic litigation in Cameroon's democratic struggle. It goes further in a statement to say, by involving Article 118 of the Electoral Code, the petition serves to document the systemic weaknesses of the country's electoral process, test the independence and credibility of the Constitutional Council, demonstrate that the rule of law remains a battlefield for change, and provide a historical and legal record for reform, democracy, and accountability.
In a moment, let's now tell you how Cameroon is faring today. Welcome back, viewers. On Cameroon today, the inhabitants of Dabanga, we are in the Logon and Shari division of the far north region of the country, are steadily returning to normal life after several attacks from the Islamist group Boko Haram. Though uneasy calm seems to be gaining ground in that area, the security forces are also on the alert to intercept any form of attacks. Let's now have more with Magic and Gabriel.
It is an obligatory part for everyone who is traveling to Kuseri in the Logon and Shari division of the far north region, N'Djamena in Chad, for you to pass through Dabanga, which is very popular in the Logon Beni, which is also close to Nigeria. The village has suffered from uncountable attacks from Boko Haram, with the last being on March 27, 2021, where the rebels on military vehicles and commercial motorbikes invaded the zone in the early hours of the night. The rapid intervention of the forces of law and order in the zone was enough to maintain peace, which has already been disturbed. 4 years after the last attack, Dabanga is back on its feet, even though life has taken another twist. Notwithstanding our attempts to talk to natives of Dabanga, none accepted to talk to us, but we are lucky to have met with a driver who is used to Dabanga. Many changes here because since Boko Haram entered, the road is now very bad. Before now, there was a big market here, but now, nothing. Since Boko Haram rebels had a confrontation, the people are afraid of coming to the market. That is how we are managing now, but it's not like before, since the road too is very bad. Now there is no rain, we move a bit better, but when it rains, you spend 2 to 3 days on the road. Trucks fall almost every day. Everything here, including fuel, is expensive. Though uncertainty continues to loom in the zone, the military also continues to make patrols on the Mora Dabanga Kuseri stretch of road to give hope to both the natives and road users. We can now travel safely since there is security, but when it is 4 p.m., we all wait. Whether you are in Waza, Zigage, and Dabanga, you are advised to sleep for security reasons, but not obligatory, because if you stubbornly travel and something meets you, it's going to be bad. Reasons why the forces ask us to sleep and continue our journey during the day. The kidnapping of more than 15 people in Zigage, in Waza subdivision, is a reminder for the military to always remain vigilant, as Boko Haram still remains a key threat to peace in the zone, particularly on the Mora Dabanga Kuseri stretch of roads, which is part of the national road. A different zone but same problem is in the locality of Turu and Moskota in the Mayo-Chanaga division. The incursion of Boko Haram has left an unforgettable mark that the people are finding it difficult to wipe away. The presence of the forces of law and order and the vigilance of the people is reassuring. Mozogo, another area of Mayo-Chanaga, is also coming out of the different attacks they have had from Boko Haram. The population is now helping the military in their actions.
Thank you, Smart. That does it for the first part of the news. Let's now move on to Talking Points. Welcome back, viewers. Our guest tonight is Sylvine Dongmo. She is a peace advocate. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting to be our guest on the news tonight. Now, we watched in the news, the entire nation seems to be going wild. Cameroonians are worried over the kidnap of over 15 people on board a bus which belonged to touristic agency. Amidst those victims are 5 children who belong to a mom who belongs to one woman. And you, Madam Sylvain Dongmu, you are a mother and also you are an advocate of peace. What was your reaction? How did you receive? What were your feelings when you got that message, the news of those people were kidnapped?
Thank you so much for the invitation. It is my pleasure to be here today. Indeed, it is a tragedy. It's a tragedy that affects the entire nation, the family, but women at large, because we feel the pain of a woman whose children have been kidnapped. There's no word to describe such a pain. So as a woman, it's a deep shock that I receive after listening to this news. And the shock is very profound, simply because it's not the first time. It's not the first time. On a daily basis now in Cameroon, you hear about children kidnapped, you hear about women killed, and all of this. So it's not only a shock, but it's becoming like a trauma. You are kind of traumatized because it's like becoming normalized, because we hear you on a daily basis. But I feel the pain, and my first thought go to the family, especially that mother who is going through this deep pain that we cannot even describe, and all the anxiety she's having herself and the entire family. But maybe I can also say that it's a pain for a family, but it's a pain for the entire nation, because in one way or the other, we all feel the pain of this mother, but also of all the passengers that were arrested or kidnapped.
Now, there has also been this outcry about the silence, the loud silence or indifference of the government. How can we understand that since this has happened, that was since the 13th of this month, we have had no official statement from any government official, not even from the agency itself?
Unfortunate that we have this loud silence. It's really unfortunate, and I can't speak for them, but it's really unfortunate because it's just to ask ourselves the question, what is the priority? What should be our priority? I think in a country, the highest concern should be on each and every Cameroonian, meaning that the minute a Cameroonian has something should be one of the highest priority for the authorities. But unfortunately, this is not the case, and it is unfortunate. I'm happy that because this has been happening for years, cases like this, at least other people are speaking out, whether the civil society, the media. You are here because it's a concern for you. You are receiving me today as guest because it is a deep concern. So media are talking about it, the community are talking, but we feel that it's the first responsibility lies with the state. So we are just trying to say that in spite of all the cries and the noise made by all the stakeholders, the one that is really awaited is the cry of the state. And it's unfortunate that we don't have it. And my question will just be, is it a priority for them? That's the question I can ask. If that was a priority, I'm very sure that something will have been done apart from just making a communique. But I have the feeling that this is not a priority. The priority is somewhere else.
Madame Sylvie, now let's talk about the grieving woman, Madame Annie Florentinga. All her children were kidnapped. She had 5 children, all of them were kidnapped. She seems abandoned on her own. No social assistance. Yesterday, she told our reporters who are in Yaoundé with her that she hasn't had any word of comfort, assurance or reassurance from the government. Don't you think it's time she has some psychological follow-up at least?
Yeah, maybe let me tell you that there is a direct link between governance and security. So this is one of the key principles of good governance: the security of the people, the security of the citizen. So it is a problem, it is a failure that the security of the citizen is not put as a priority. So Having a woman abandoned like that is very dangerous, because we are having more women abandoned, more cases abandoned. What society are we building? So the society of people who are traumatized, who feel abandoned, and who lose trust. And I want to tell you that one of the most dangerous things that a government can have is to have citizens who lose trust in them. When you lose trust, when all the citizens, after this woman and many others in the past, and maybe others in the future, keep losing trust, then it is the governance which is at risk, because the first ingredient of good governance with the citizen should be the trust between the citizen and the people in power. But this trust is eroding. So at some points, the citizen will look for, like it is the case now. I know that there is a fundraising going on. No, that's, of course, the citizen can support that, but that's not the primary responsibility. So I just want to make the link and say that we have, apart from this case, Cameroon is unfortunately going through a very challenging time, starting with, everything started with Boko Haram, because before that, we were called the heaven of peace. We used to be in Africa. Cameroon is a heaven of peace. Unfortunately, this assertion is challenged because of Boko Haram insurgency, because of the crisis in the northwest and southwest, because of internal crisis, because of all this frustration. And you can see them now. We are in a pre-electoral period which is extremely, I've never seen such violence in Cameroon, including hate speech and all of this. So what this woman is going through is adding another layer of mistrust to the government authority, which is very dangerous, because when the trust is lost, it is a problem. The citizen will have the tendency of looking for solutions. And those solutions include also doing justice for themselves. Yeah, which is dangerous. And when we start saying that, okay, I have no government to rely on, let us do justice, it becomes chaos. So it's a strong call to the government of Cameroon to really take the matter very seriously. Not only this case, but other cases. Why am I saying so? Because maybe with the fundraising going on, we can have the opportunity of getting those children back. But I want to tell you that this is not a sustainable solution. It is not. Yeah, even what is being done now is not a sustainable solution, because if we have all this money, those millions, and we give to the kidnappers and get the children back, what message are we sending out? We are sending out the message to other terrorists and who will do the same in order to have money.
I was coming right to that, Madame Sylvine Domo. The kidnappers are asking for a ransom now. They say they want 5 million francs CFA. They began by asking for 50 million francs CFA, else they'll kill all the children. We got information that one has already been killed, but that is not yet confirmed. Cameroonians, in some show of solidarity somehow, have mobilized the sum of over 6 million francs CFA in less than 24 hours through a social media activist, Women2. Now, can that be considered a solidarity, or it might instead give an upper hand to the kidnappers?
Yes, that's what I said. Being somebody who work on peace issue, you know, to address insecurity or violence or anything in a sustainable way, it's important to look for the root causes of what is making this to happen and propose sustainable solution. So the kidnappers are human beings like you and me, and most of the time they are youth, from what we have heard. So why do you think youth are capable of just making a business, just kidnapping people? Why? When you dig deep, we have done some analysis in the past. There is a link even with the economic situation of those youth. So this is, I'm just giving one example of what could be the justification of such. Of course, killing or kidnapping is not a good thing. But why is it that one day a youth decide to become a kidnapper or to kill? Because we have other youth killing. Why? What do we need really to dig deep and know and understand that maybe he's frustrated because he has been to school, he has so many diplomas, he doesn't have access to job. This problem of unemployment. So it's important to really dig deep and understand, because I feel strongly, even without you asking the question, that mobilizing fundraising for this case is good because you can save the children, but it's not sustainable. The message it is sending is not a good message. From today, you see more kidnappers coming on board because they know that the population will mobilize and get funding. So I think the best thing is really to look at what are the solutions that can be sustainable, including looking at all these economic disparities, addressing this issue of trust. How does the government rebuild the trust at different levels in the community with the population? Do we have in the communities some like early warning mechanism? And I know about the case of this region particularly. We have gone there, even the road. Because you can even be in your car and you see danger, you accelerate. You cannot because of the roads. So if you look into deep into this, the problem, the ties are many, including economic, including infrastructure. So that's the responsibility now for the state to really try to see how we can address that in a sustainable way. But I want to comment all the Cameroonians and in the country and abroad who are mobilizing to save these children. But let's also make our voice loud to ask for the state to be accountable in terms of looking for sustainable solution, because short-term solution will not solve the problem in a sustainable way.
Thank you so much, Madam Sylvie Ndongmu, for that insight. Thank you for accepting to be our guest, and we hope to have you some other time, ma'am. And viewers, thank you so much for being with us on this edition of the news. That was what we put together for you this evening. Our programs continue as usual. Equinoxe will be yours in about 30 minutes or so with Serge Lang, and the news in the French language with Julien Beth Bissay comes up at 8 p.m. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television, and we will be together again tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye for now.